we live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not going to happen this episode because I have a gripe to pick with a couple of different people in a company. I have a gripe to pick up with Portia. I have a gripe to pick up with Brit Edie and Bravo in that call center. All in that order. But before we get into them and the read I'm about to give them, I have to introduce my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, beautiful humans. Happiest of Mondays. You have survived. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, James.
I am so happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. So we are going to do things a little bit different here, guys. From what my understanding is, Married to Medicine did not record on my DVR. And then when I tried to go on Bravo's website to watch it, I'm looking to see if it's up now because I'm going to watch it at work when I get there. Let me see if it's uploaded on their website. Nope, it's still not uploaded on their website. So I don't know what's going on with Married to Medicine. So that video hopefully will be up tomorrow. Me and Mrs. Best will be live, of course, for Love and Hip Hop Miami. So we're gonna do Married to Medicine if it uploads tonight. But I also want to send a shout out to Shana underscore MCD. We are supporting her and making sure that we are subscribing to both her channels, her current channel and then the new channel that she has as a backup. I want to make sure that both channels get monetized and spreading the word and making you guys go over there just to help a girl out is going to be very much so needed because we definitely need to make sure that Shana gets the just due that she deserves. So I'm just saying, just public announcement, subscribe to Shana underscore MCD. We greatly appreciate it, both me and Mrs. Best. Hi, Dr. Jim Bunny. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you once again. I'm loving seeing you here now twice in a row on my videos. Love it. Hi, Shani. Thank you for being here as well. We appreciate you too. So let's get into this foolishness. Y'all, they are being ridiculous on this show. I can't believe any of this. So the show opens up. We have this scene with Angela and Brit Edie. They go out walking with their dogs, and or with Brit with her dog. She bring that dog everywhere, and it's getting on my nerves looking at that dog. But they begin talking, and they kind of relate to one another. They both are having some family issues. Angela's having an issue with, particularly her mother and her sister. She has this idea that, parent or family should definitely be one united with the marriage and everything. And I'm looking at her like, no, that's the worst advice you can give people on TV. Marriage is definitely supposed to be separate from the family. Absolutely. Because they ain't supposed to know your business like that. But she pretty much says that, when it came to her relationship with Charles Oakley, she said that her mom kind of, was mute and didn't really say too much on, his ways or anything. So one day she just thought, she can go ahead and say something, and that caused a big rift. Now, the family has not been the same. Charles has since then apologized, and so has the mama, but they're still not on one accord. And that, that's eating away at Angela. And of course, Britt can agree because she has an estranged relationship with her sister, or sisters, I should say, but we only saw one sister show, but we'll talk about her later. And how, the dynamic since she has gotten married has been changed. One of her sisters is not in a relationship and kind of feels like the odd man out. And I totally get that sister because I was once that person. I'm gonna tell the sister like this when we get to her, I'm gonna give her my word of advice. But she's saying that she wants to work on that relationship because family is important to her. She doesn't have a lot of friends, and it's one of those situations that she would like to see she can build from that. Starting with her sisters and hopefully change that dynamic. Now, they then mentioned the girls, and that Angela and Shamia have had some big beef, or not big beef, a little rift in the friendship group, and they're trying to get past it, but they don't see a way forward. Angela is doing a nice little dinner, so she's going to go ahead and invite Shami, and hopefully they can put their differences aside. And Britt also tells Angela in the same conversation that she and Kenya have not gotten to a good footing either. She said that Kenya was very rude to her, talking about the whole ring thing. And she's constantly bringing this up I guess this was a really offensive thing to her. Kenya bringing up the ring and not really being as warm to her as she is the other ladies. So I'll reserve my opinion at the end. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about the scene between Angela and Brittany?
Um, First of all, that's an ugly ass dog. I just wanted to put that out there. I do not like that dog. Listen, that's an ugly ass dog. Why she had to hold the dog? Why have a dog if you don't want their feet to touch the ground? Let
I'm
that
just
fucking
saying.
dog. Ooh, I'm sorry. Let that
No, no, go
doggone
ahead. No,
dog.
say it like that. Say it like that. Don't
Let that
apologize.
fucking
Say it like
dog be. Stop laughing at me, Josiah. My husband laughing in the background. I can't keep my thought right. But that was irritating me the whole time. And mind you, I worked in Petco for over 9 years as a store manager, and people are weird with their pets, yes. But bitch, how you gonna bring the dog to the park and not let the thing walk? And then you not grooming them right. Hairs hanging all over. The dog looked like me when my braids is out. I couldn't. I absolutely could not. So that bothered me. I don't like Brit Edie. I don't like Angela. I saw what everybody was talking about with that nose finally. I saw that. I saw what
it.
people were talking about
You
with
know how
that
you used to play
nose.
with clay, and then you take the
It
little
has the
tool.
color of clay.
Yeah, and you take the little tool and you put two little holes in it. That's exactly what her nose looks like.
But she's Dr. Jen. I can't stand like I people are weird with pets. Yes, I spoil my pet. He laying right now on certified memory foam, some sort of anti-allergenic something. But I'm not going to like be extra extra weird. Pets are domesticated. We take away their innate traits and ability to be wild. So
Hmm.
why is she treating this dog like a baby? Bitch, if you want to go have a baby, go have a baby. I don't understand. Or adopt a child. Surrogacy. There's so much she can do, but
So
everything
many
Brit does,
options.
everything she does just feels fake to me. Angela, we already know is full of shit. Now it's going around the internet how she told Wendy Williams about how Charles was cheating on her and having babies. She don't want to mention it. And I just ask of Angela, why come on this show if why come on TV and put yourself in a
It
public place if you're
it
not
seems
gonna.
like, and I could be wrong, and I'm going to talk more on this when we get to that scene, that dinner scene with her and Portia. It seems like she's trying to come on the show to clean up his image and then portray this perfect picture, and I'm not buying it.
And
I'm
I think he might have warned her too, just the way he act toward her. You could tell he got the look on his face like I told your dumb ass that this wouldn't help us. If you want to be with me, just be with me. But the two of these girls, they both give pick me. You could tell they were very thirsty as it relates to being popular publicly. And you can also tell that they both have been watching RHOA from the beginning and have
not.
both probably fantasized about being on the show. They say a lot without saying much, so I don't like either of these hoes. One looked like Nicki Minaj and one looked like Miss Piggy if she had a chocolate sister, and I cannot.
Yeah, I'm not feeling them either. I'm glad we're on that same page. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. So Shamia has a conversation with her sister. She's playing, the music that she just released not that long ago. I like the song, I do, and I think that she has a beautiful voice. And I like what Shamia did in this scene, which was take the accountability of like maybe she did come at Angela a little hard about her appearance and that she does need to apologize. So I'm glad that Shamia is being the bigger person and doing that. It had it been me, I would have still been petty and I wish she wouldn't have got shit from me. Point blank and period. And that's all I'm gonna say. Is there anything else you want to add to the scene, Mrs. Best? Because that's all it was.
I don't think there's much to add to it. I like the song. I listened to it. I had that song on repeat. Should be a song.
Hmm.
And Drew's album is amazing. Side note, but
We'll
yeah,
get to
nothing
that in
else.
just a second. We'll get to that in just a second. But the next thing we'll talk about is Portia. So Portia is having a meeting with her team. She, wants to definitely rebrand because Portia had this, I guess, revelation that she was going to retire at 40, being married to Mr. Simon Gubati over there. But Portia soon realized that that wasn't going to be the plan. So now she has to put full avenue into her businesses. She wants to create a billion dollar industry, and I feel like she's definitely on the right track. She has Pampered with Portia. Now, I never knew she didn't have comforters. I didn't know it was only just sheets, and I probably was confusing her line with Malaysia's line. My bad, y'all. I'm so sorry. I thought she had a full bedding set. But she just has sheets, so she wants to expand to full bedding and also houseware as well. And then also she wants to, make sure that Go Naked Hair does a full reforce as well. And one of her, business, members or member of the board, whatever he was saying that, how do you feel about getting more ambassadors in the door? And she goes, we definitely need to make sure that that does happen. And he mentions, the situation with Drew. And he said that Drew reached out to him and wanted to run it through Portia directly about being in the music industry and, the promotion for it. And I just looked at this scene like, Portia had one goddamn song. That does not make her no professional in no music industry. What the hell are we talking about here? I was like, I couldn't even finish the scene because I was so stuck on that. I said, since when did we go to Portia about music business advice? We got one song, and that qualifies us for that. Mrs. Best, I need you to chime in a little bit because I didn't understand that.
My bad. Your good friend Leona was calling my phone over and over and over. Um, listen, Portia had not just one song, but one pitchy song. Um, I don't know. Portia, I don't take her seriously with half of what she does. I was surprised when she went to Dish Nation. Like, if we think back, hi, bitch, stay winning. If we think back to Portia when she first came on this show, to after her divorce, to how she got where she was at, all of it was kind of a surprise. You could tell that Portia will just do anything that'll make her a dollar or get her noticed at the time. And nothing is wrong with that. But it was a horrible song. But yeah, Portia is jealous, and I think she's going to be jealous. And what they call it, green-eyed monster. She's the green-eyed monster
Mhm.
of this season. You could tell that she's just jealous of everybody throughout the episode since she came back. I think she thought that her returning would be enough, but it's like, no, Portia, we want you to actually talk about things, speak about things. You don't want Dennis to film unless it relates to you and your kid. Flatline, and she was flat.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to interrupt you, so I just wanted to make
You could
sure.
have. She was flat. She was flat. But yeah, Portia to me is she she's not giving anything except petty, jealous, mean girl.
I agree, and it's not becoming of her. It really makes her look like what everyone is speculating. And I remember a time I used to like Portia. I remember a time I used to, really see it for her
You
effort.
know I've never seen it for her. And
Yeah,
I'd like to remind you and every other former Portia fan or current Portia fan, she came on with Cordell on some bullshit, trying to look like the happy wife after being on several different reality shows across different networks. Then she gets a divorce and shows her doing whatever she can to get a baby from some young man that clearly wasn't that interested and just wanted to bend the peach booty over. Then she get with Dennis and decides that she needs to be engaged and having a baby so soon. Then you go see to your friend house is still her husband. Now that that's gone to shit, now you don't want to talk about it. Some of it you can't legally talk about, but now you don't want to talk about it. Then we're learning that you and your baby daddy have weird arrangements as it relates to filming, which should show production and the fans that half of the shit that she does on this show she's aware of, has calculated and or put together, meaning it's not authentic. So I've never cared for Portia on this show. I don't see it for her on the show going forward, and I'm tired of her.
this part, Dr. Jen, this part.
She
Hi,
is.
Maya. Thank you for being here, my love. I appreciate you. She just, yeah, it's just I can't deal with Portia, y'all. Portia's getting on my nerves. Like, just this self entitlement, I just can't take it. It's like, ugh, you really had to come on the show doing all that? Okay, okay. So we now get a scene with Kenya. She's showing us around her, her grand spa, which is absolutely beautiful. I will give Kenya that. It is absolutely stunning. Like every detail, you could tell Kenya was really, invest that money correctly when it came to contractors, furniture. It was absolutely beautiful. She has Kelly come over, and Kelly is looking around saying that this is amazing. Oh my gosh, Kenya just really up in her. And I really loved Kenya and Kelly's dynamic. I really did. So when they sit down, Kenya notices that Kelly has security with her. And she goes, "Why do you have security?" And she tells her real quick, she goes, "You know what? You have an MARK, I have an MARK." And she goes, "Well, what's wrong with your mark?" And she goes, "He threatened to kill me. We was up in court and he threatened to kill me." And y'all, and when she said that, and when I actually looked at that, because y'all remember, I looked up that man and what he looks like and everything. He looked like the type. He do. So to do that in court, of all places to do it, to threaten her life in court, of course the judge is going to hold you in contempt and send your ass to jail. That is absolutely insane. So she's telling, so Kelly's pretty much saying that he wants full control of the business, And what it gives me, and this is my thought on this, is that I think he invested into the business, but I don't think he thought the business was going to be successful like it is. And now he wants full piece of the pie because they have 50-50 interests. So now he wants the full piece of the pie because he probably invested the money into it and it took off well over. And Kelly reasoned with him and said, why don't you just take your residuals and let me run the business and we'll just do it that way. But he didn't want to do it that way because there's probably more money into it than one can imagine. And as you know, Kenya is listening to this, she said, well, because Kelly asked her, are you going to franchise this business? And she goes, I want to, but I'm so scared because, I used my daughter's college fund to open this business. And Kelly was like, oh, girl, you'll get that back. Don't worry about it. She goes, are you sure? Like, how did your business become successful? And Kelly said it was a good word of mouth situation. And Kenya, you could tell Kenya is nervous. Kenya is scared. Kenya is like, what if this fails? Because y'all know businesses in Atlanta fail a lot. They do. And it's kind of one of those situations where I feel for Kenya. I know what that struggle is like to put your heart into something. Because I'm going to tell y'all a little quick story. I'm an author. I have 2 books out. I think that they're amazing books, both of them. I enjoyed writing them. I enjoyed reading them. I enjoyed every part of my books, but they did not sell the way I wanted them to. And what I mean by that is, I didn't have money for marketing. I did not have money for, different platforms to putting on to do interviews, that type of marketing as well. I didn't have a lot of that. And my books didn't sell the way I wanted them to. And that made me question me being a writer. It really did. It wasn't until people I didn't even know were like, no, you have a gift. Keep doing it. Keep going. It's going to get there. So I want to tell Kenya the same way Kelly was telling her, you will get there, Kenya. Like, we support you. We love you. You will get there. Like, I'm in support of all Black businesses, whatever it is. And we are praying for you. And we know that this is going to turn into an amazing profit where you can franchise that. So we're wishing the best. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about that?
I enjoyed this scene, and I think that this scene should have showed Bravo and whoever's behind the hiring and the firing and the suspensions. Like, this Brit Edie chick is a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but separate from that, Kenya's willing to talk to new people without attacking them. We haven't seen her throw too much shade at Kelly the way everybody tries to make it seem like, So I think it showed that Kenya is still willing, and that's what makes her a good housewife, to be vulnerable, authentic, but also will read you for filth if needed. But it also shows that she can welcome new people. I think she understands and values this income because she is a single mom, because we know marketing shit. And it's unfortunate of how the season ended for her. But I think we would have enjoyed seeing Kelly and Kenya and whatever bond, because it gave big sister, little sister. It was I enjoyed the scene. I have no negative feedback.
I definitely enjoyed this scene, and this actually made me like Kelly. This scene right here.
Kelly is humble because it's not just her success, but she's describing pretty vicious domestic violence. And that's common in courts for, DV victims. When people who are used to having control suddenly get it latched away from them, they will act a fool and react in ways in front of a judge that most people with a clear mind wouldn't do. So it just goes to show Kelly is humble about her divorce and is only giving us little bits and pieces, even though she's legally protected through a restraining order and other things and avenues. But Portia, your black ass is on this show, and you don't want to tell us anything about your divorce. Meanwhile, this woman who dealt with actual physical, mental, every type of abuse you could think of is willing to talk about it, but she doesn't lead with it. So she's not letting it define her. So I really like Kelly, and this scene did put her on my good side.
Absolutely. And I'm also praying for Kelly too. I want her to come out of this like completely just in complete vindication, 100% ownership of her businesses and everything. I want everything good to come to Kelly. So Kelly, we praying for you. The next thing we'll talk about is Brit. Brit meets up with her sister Cher. I don't know why the mama did that, but that's all right. But she meets up with her sister because they have been estranged. We learned that Brit has not seen her nephews at all, and they're growing up, and getting older. And she says that she doesn't go that long. It's been about a month, which really is not that long of a time. But I remember my aunt when I was a kid used to come get me every weekend. So, that's neither here nor there. But, they begin talking about, how the sister, mainly the sister was talking, coming from a place where whenever she's wanting to have sister bond with Brit, her husband Mike is always in the picture where it's always the three of them, or he always wants to, tag along, and she just wants her sister. And, her sister then also gets on the kind of like an emotional phase where she was just saying, like, you have the life, I can't be in a relationship like in the same ways because it's not working out for me. And I understood the sister. I did, because I've also been in those shoes. My advice to the sister is to stop harping on it. Like, because the moment you start harping on it is the moment it's going to happen. I literally, when it came to my last relationship, so I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to go down another little rabbit hole because we're doing good on time right now. So, y'all, I literally, March of last year, you guys know, if you guys were with me from the beginning, I lived in South Florida. I did not live in Arizona at the time. I lived in South Florida, and I was in a relationship. I was actually planning to marry my ex. And he showed me a different side of him that I never saw dating him before I moved in with him. It was like completely Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And he was good to me at times. I'm not gonna lie. He wasn't all bad. He was good to me at times. And he did a lot for me. I'm not gonna lie. He did a lot for me, but it came with a big price. So when I got out of that relationship after going through some horrendous things, being thrown out in the middle of the night, also being in a DV situation as well, I was like, you know what? I want to be in love. I love love. I want everything about love. But at the same time, there's something wrong with me if that's the energy that I am attracting. So I said, I'm just gonna cut out dating, work on me. And at the same time I was working on me, my father passed away. So that put me in another emotional stupor. And I was like, dang, I just gotta catch a break. I just gotta catch a break. So when I tell y'all, I feel this sister. I know what that's like because I literally was in your shoes a year ago. Literally was in them. But I took my time. I worked on myself. I started to enjoy who I was. I started pouring into my friends. I started, realistically coming out of the shell and truly being happy with me and learning more things about me that I did not know. And as soon as, like literally, as soon as I say, you know what, I am not gonna date no more. I'm just gonna go into 35, just being young, single, and y'all, in 2 months I get married. So I'm like, it's crazy how life just turns. Like it really does. It literally, life just turns. So my advice to the sister is literally take your time, wait it out. It's going to be okay at the end of the road. You are going to find love. I promise you, it's going to find you in a way that you did not expect it to. So that's my advice to the sister. Mrs. Bester, anything you want to? Because I don't care about Brit's little gripe about her and her husband.
Um, Not really. I didn't care for the scene. I was not moved at all. Honestly, I'm gonna just tell y'all this. I've been with my spouse for almost 20 years now, married for most of that time. Um, Anybody come to you the way the Brit sister came to her about your husband, something's off. Mention me and how you miss me, but you don't need to incorporate, oh, because you're married now into that. That shows that you have some type of issue with her being married. Just because you don't have that doesn't mean that you behave that way or complain. I used to talk to James very often. I talked to him much less after getting married. So he's never given me a problem with that. And he's been single, he's been in relationships, but anytime that he's been single, he's not given me a problem, showed any jealousy, anything like that. Family sometimes be the ones you got to watch the most.
Yep.
This scene was stupid to me. I did not care for it. Um, Britt having a fractured family, I think, also says a lot about her. And yeah, that's about it. I don't care for these people, James. I'm
I
sorry.
didn't
I
either. I got
empathize with your
you.
situation and don't want to negate it. Uh,
No, no, you're good.
However, with her sister, it don't seem to be that. I really just think if it's because she ain't got nobody. If she had somebody, she wouldn't give a damn or notice. Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't trust any of Brit's family or her. I don't care. It was boring.
Shane, this comment cracks me up because this is something that everyone tells me. And I'm going to say this: he's not a bad person. He just struggled in the moment of being with me personally. And I want God to bless him because he, once he finds himself and really gets in tune with who his being is, he's going to make a man very, very happy. I don't have the courage to tell him that. But what I will say is that he's not bad. He's just somebody who
Sometimes good people do things that aren't the best, but also sometimes good people need to take that ass whipping. You know what I mean?
True, but at the same time, no, we
I'm
want
just
God.
saying.
I really do. I want God to bless him. I know that
God can bless him after the whipping. You see what I'm saying? It don't got to be long either. We'll
he,
get in and out in 30 seconds.
no,
That ain't
you're
long.
crazy. No, we want God to bless him. I know he does watch, but I just want God to bless him. I want God to really get into it. And I just hope he finds what he's looking for. I really do. I
May he
really want
watch these hands. Amen. See.
that. But yeah, we're gonna move on, y'all. Let me get through some of these comments. Husband's controlling. He literally interrupts the scene. The sister got issues, but Brett is dismissive and distant. Yeah, and that's the problem. This right here. She's dismissive and distant because she gives me that she thinks she's better because she's married and has money. I get that vibe from her way too like frequent.
Probably being a video vixen so young probably
Hmm.
did get to her head. And I don't think it ever went away. Cause she just acts like she's the shit and she not.
Hmm. Oh, thank you, Shani. Yes, I do. I enjoy both of them, and I think that they're the most beautiful thing on earth. Absolutely. Um. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's Shani. Yes, Brit does. She does. She really does, and it is terrible to watch on camera. It really is. She can't even breathe through her nose. I couldn't take her seriously. Yeah, arrested. Yes, but that was it. I want the sister to not harp on that. I really do. And even when you got a sister like Brit who thinks she's better, ma'am, focus on you. Get you some friends. Join you meetup. Download that app and start, doing something that you like to interest. Take a pottery class. They got all kind of stuff on meetup. Do that and make you some friends and get you a little girlfriend group and y'all go out and build yourself. That's what your friends are supposed to be for, to help build you up. I didn't lean into my friends as much as I wanted to when I was going through, because I was going through a grievance situation and I wasn't the best company. But no, lean into your friends. Lean into situations that will make you, uplift you in a way where honestly having somebody next to you realistically ain't that important right now. So yeah. Don't she got some insurance to go say? Everybody need. I wouldn't trust her with insurance after what she said. No, I'm good. But moving
Well, she
forward,
says she sold the company, and that's what the beef is with the family, no?
I don't know. I get
Because
confused.
that's what she keeps saying. So it seems like she's not doing anything right now.
Oh, okay. But still, even when she added, nope. But moving on from there, we have a montage of all of the ladies getting ready because it's the day of Angela's event. And for what they all have expressed is that it's in the hood, it's in the ghetto. But I will say I loved the aesthetic of this restaurant. It was called The Bank, I believe. I love the aesthetic. I love the big ass vault that you have to get into to go in there. It looks like it's an event space. It doesn't look like it's an actual restaurant, but it looks like in this event space where you can have private dinners. And I think the idea is brilliant. I absolutely loved everything about it. The lady started trickling in. Kenya did not wear black because she said that she didn't get that memo. But when you read the invitation, it clearly said black attire. Like, Kenya, stop. And then she said she don't own no black. And I said, girl, you had a whole reunion dress that was black. You mean tell me you couldn't run to go get you a cheap little $200 dress and bring it? Hell, you could have went to Ross and got you something. Husband knew he married. Oop, Lord Jesus, y'all better stop cutting up in these comments. Gorgeous, sleek, looked expensive. It did. It was beautiful. It was that restaurant. Like, I honestly, I want to see what it is. I'm gonna look up on their website. I said I was gonna do that, but then I lost track of time. I've been busy today, and I gotta go to work tonight. So let me hurry up here. But everyone gets in there. Shamia comes last, and Shamia has a bottle of olive oil. olive oil with a branch hanging out, calling it what it literally is, an olive branch. And she said that this is for Angela. She said that she apologized for attacking her appearance. That is not who she is, and that's not what she wants to be represented as. So she wants to apologize, and hopefully they can start over. Angela immediately accepts the apology and hugs her because she also would like to start anew. So we've cleared this beef. This beef is good. So the ladies are now, coming in, and they're laughing, having a good time, and they decide to play this little messy ass game. But before we do that, though, there's something I want to call out about Drew because Drew be full of shit. So they asked Kelly how her event went, and she goes, "It went well." And I don't know who, I think it was Kenya who asked, "Well, did everybody buy something?" And she goes, "Not everybody." And she looks right over at Drew. Drew said, "Oh, I did buy something. I did buy something." And in her confessional, she says she bought her son a $2,000 blazer. And so she shows Kelly the text messages of her and the associate going back and forth, but failed to produce a receipt. I said, Drew, how hard is it to log into your bank account, click on the exact transaction, and show Kelly that you did buy something? How hard is that to do? You ain't got to show what's in your bank account. You can just click on the transaction and just read the transaction and say, look, I bought something. Mrs. Best, am I tripping or could she have done that?
Drew does not donate or purchase things on camera. Drew purchases things through the internet and with discount codes on a variety of websites available to the public. Drew has never shown to have money since being on this show and came on this show claiming she needed to revive her career, indicating that her pocketbook may not allow or afford her the ability to purchase things as often as she may like. In addition to that, she has 4 kids because Ralph counts as a kid. Drew would be divorced if she could afford to donate at an event in a store such as this. Drew and Ralph are fighting over a house and both refuse to leave. This man is living in the basement and they play on the front yard. So even if Drew had a receipt, I wouldn't believe she paid. That is all.
Notice how I didn't talk about that scene because I don't believe it. I don't believe anything that Ralph and Drew were selling. So if you guys were wondering why I didn't talk about that, Mrs. Best just did it, but I don't believe Ralph and Drew. I just don't. There's
There was
something about
nothing to talk about with that scene. Y'all, if a judge has to say, don't talk about a divorce with kids, if a judge has to tell somebody to live in one part of the house and another person to live in another, and if you people can get along on camera, but I'm sick of Drew. Drew doesn't know how to tell the truth, and it's sad because I listened to her album. She's super talented. The whole album was really good. Uh, I wish that she would just leave the show and focus on music. That's my thoughts on
I
Drew.
agree. I think she needs to leave the show. I think at this point, there's no point in her even being on the show unless it's strictly to promote her business. I don't want to know about her and Ralph. I just don't. And the fact that you're not allowed in the basement of your own home, and I told y'all like this, Ralph would have got the fuck out, or I would have had to leave. One, we can't both be in the same house going through this divorce. I don't believe a judge did that. I just don't. I don't believe a judge told Ralph and Drew that y'all need to split equal quarters of a home, live in the same home when y'all have both been volatile towards each other, and there's proof of it on TV. I don't believe a judge said that. I believe what happened is neither one of them can afford to get a house on their own, at least a house as statuous as this one. And I think that that's what the problem is. And I told Drew on episode 1, or I told Ralph, one of y'all need to get a condo. Y'all don't need a 6-bedroom house. Y'all just need 3 little bedrooms. And 2 little boys can share a room. That little girl can have her own room.
I'd like to say, as a woman who married somebody who, when I got with at the time, made less than me, it took my husband a little while to get things together. So while he figured it out, there was not one fucking place that we lived that I knew I could not afford on my own. I feel like, especially for women, they fought for us to have all this independence and all of that. Just because you with your partner, it's nice to go 50-50. It's nice to have a partner to cover things for you. However, comma, because my husband pays the rent. I don't give a dollar of it. However, if he was to decide he want to leave me for somebody that's on the BART train or something, I would be able to take care of and maintain the space that I'm in on my own. I may have to work a lot, but I would be able to do it. So I definitely feel like that's where Drew made a mistake with Ralph. Because, like you said, James, that's the best thing you could have pointed out. Neither of them can afford that house if it was theirs individually.
That's what it's given because, like Shani said right here, doesn't Drew want to sell the house and keep all the money? That's why she want him to move out. Drew could still do that with them in the house. Drew could put up a for sale sign in front of the house right now and sell
Hmm.
it. She wants him to move out, and she wants to sell it for her to get full profit. I don't blame her for doing that because if she was the one to put the down payment on it, because he can't provide any of his financial records, then yeah, she should get equal liberty of the house. I don't think she will in the divorce.
Just give him the fucking house. If he wants it so much, that's like if a woman's really fed up and done, let them have it. It's a stupid fight because if they can't come to an agreement in court, then the judge is going to rule that they have to share the house or sell the house and split the profit. That's what be happening. So either way, they'll both lose it and then they'll get less money because they have to split it. So it's a pointless fight. I'm sick of, I don't want to hear nothing from Drew but her singing at this point. That's it. She shouldn't do reality TV.
You are speaking a word because the more I think about this and the more I process this situation, I'm just like, this just sounds stupid. Like, I want to meet the judge. I need to review their court cases. Can the city clerk send me a copy of the revisions of their testimony? I need to read them. I need to read them at this point. I need to read what the judge said, and I need to read what Ralph and Drew are talking about. I need the transcripts at this point because I don't believe either one of them. But wasn't Ralph supposed to be an IT director? I don't believe that's a lie. I just think that he can't find work because that's a hard. As much as they say it's on TV, it's easy to find work in that. It's also very hard too. So I believe it. I just don't think he has work. I don't. Yep, she sure will. If she sells the house now, she will have to split the proceeds. Absolutely, it's marital property. I hope this should. Yeah, me too. Because I don't want to see her. I know I saw Shana underscore MCD. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Shana. Her information is in my description box for both channels. Show my girl some love, y'all. I appreciate you. Let me see. Me either. Ralph with smooth brain. Yes. So we're gonna move on, y'all. So Shamia, before we play this little messy ass game, Shamia also decides to play her song for everybody because she played it for her sister. And she asked her sister, should she play it for the ladies? And her sister said, yeah. So Portia over there, like, oh, I know my best friend. It's gonna be good. I know my best friend voice. And then when she plays the song, she goes, is that Drew? And I'm looking at Portia. Now, in Portia's defense, the first time, because y'all know I watched this like 3 or 4 times before I actually come live with y'all. So the first time the first time she played, I did think it was Drew too. I did. I was like, that does kind of sound like Drew. Just the opening of the song, not throughout the song, just the opening when Shamia played it at first. But then when I watched it the second time, I was like, oh no, Portia tripping. That ain't Drew. And you know that ain't Drew, Portia. Now you know that ain't Drew. Stop with all that. And this is what it is. This is what it is. This is exactly what it is. Portia is hate, y'all. That envious spirit, and we all have them. Mine is, I can't, that's why I don't be on Instagram that much. When y'all be DMing me, it's not personal. I promise y'all, I can't be on Instagram. I can't be on Instagram because when I see the levels of highly successful people, I love them all and I'm so proud of them. But there's an envious spirit that was like, well, damn, how do I get out there and do it? And I have a friend that told me something the other day, and I'm actually going to follow his advice. It was actually kind of funny. I always show, I'm going to give it to y'all when it work. That's how I'm going to put it. But yeah, Portia sucks as a friend. How many times did Shamia say, this is me singing? She said it too many times for me. All it took was one time for you to tell that's me singing. Is Portia said, but okay. She does sound like Brandy. Yes, she does. Absolutely. Portia's the Portia version. She is. Absolutely. I don't like how Portia is acting with her best friend. If I was, but you have to understand, Portia been playing in Shamia face. Going all the way back to what season was that? Was that season 9? Season 9 of Real Housewives. Come back and watch that whole season. Portia been playing. And that's why I don't like Portia. Yeah, she is a dangerous person. Like, I would watch out because that's almost giving single white female energy. It really is. If y'all know the reference, y'all know. So After that, Shamia kind of did feel slighted by Portia, and it was just I wanted her to speak up then and tell Portia what was on her mind. I did. I wanted her to say, Portia, I don't know why you hating on me. I
I
can't
think
help.
Shamia is fully aware of how Portia acts. I think Shamia knows Portia better than any of us. And in some ways, it probably was smarter for Shamia to just like deal with it to a certain extent. But I think that she definitely expected Portia to react that way because if she would have gone off on her and why are you doing all of this, then everyone would have been satisfied. And then Portia would have had that argument, oh, you tried to check me publicly. But Portia to be online talking about how Shamia sent the song to all of the housewives except for you, well, now we fucking know why. Now we know why. Now it makes sense because they all posted, including Kenya, except for Portia. So and then Portia's doing all these lives talking about it. So it makes sense. I can't stand this woman, James. I have
I
nothing
know.
nice.
I know. I'm just saying. And if she think Drew can sing, why she mad about Drew in the studio with her ex? I already know the answer. We already know the answer because she wants that to be her. She wants that to be her. Y'all, let me be honest with y'all. This is my oh yes, y'all do the best they went insane, y'all, while I give my assessment on Portia. Portia wants to be with Dennis. Portia wants to be with Dennis because Dennis is the bad guy representative that she wants to be with to make a husband. Dennis is not husband material. Dennis is for the streets. He likes his freedom because Dennis reminds me of that little ugly boy in high school that couldn't get women at first, but now that he got money and got business and success, he can get them all over the place now. And he likes the attention. It's kind of like Young Jock. Young Jock is the same thing. It's the same thing for me. So I just feel like Portia wants Dennis, but she wants Dennis in the way that Simon was willing to step up, and it was for ill intent, of course, but still, he was still willing to do it. So yeah, I just feel like she's never going to get the Dennis that she wants. And it's so unfortunate because he comes with everything that she desires. But she can't get the one thing she truly desires, which is to be married and have a faithful husband. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is, y'all. And Portia, they make them a mile a minute. Y'all just got to learn how to get up out of Atlanta and just go out and find. You can easily have somebody, and she's beautiful. She might not be, the best intellectually, but I'm sure she can get somebody. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, sorry, y'all, I couldn't do it. I mean, he has features that I like, but no, I can't do it. No, her soul is boiling. Two of her castmates are releasing good music, and she's not the belle of the ball anymore by Ashley, right? He dated one of Portia's other friends before she got with him. Which friend? It must not be somebody known because I didn't know that. Yeah, I agree. Didn't she have Dennis and throw him away? She didn't throw him away. When she was pregnant, he cheated. And she couldn't get past the hurt because here it is another man cheating on her, going with somebody else. That blows to a woman's ego, to most women's egos. There's some women who would tolerate cheating, but there's some women who just cannot do it, no matter what the man comes with, no matter how much money he got, no matter how much access he got, no matter how much it's a slap in the face and an insult to her, because Portia is definitely out of Dennis's league. But at the end of the day, that's a slap to her ego. So of course she can't take him back after he did that. Of course. Yep, absolutely. Yep, got the nerve to cheat. I know, ain't that crazy? She is beautiful. Portia is stunning, but her insides are evil. She reminds me of the witch in Snow White. I just watched that movie, by the way. She reminds me of that. Beautiful on the outside, but has the most ugliest soul I ever seen. It's not fact that Dennis be a womanizer. Remember, Candy told the group, "Yep, absolutely."
Portia knew that before she got with him, but she
Sure
didn't
did.
care because he
I was
had money.
getting all them tattoos. That's what she said. It was like, that's not a flex, ma'am.
That's why it's like you tripping over a man that has been for the streets. You like, and you say she's out of his league. I, she doesn't care. I don't think she cares. I think Portia would date whoever's wallet is long.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. So she thought she was going to be a Lisa Milan. I don't know how to feel about that. Not to say anything against Lisa Milan. I love Lisa Milan. I do. I don't think I don't think that's what she was aiming for. I really don't. I just think I feel like Portia wants to be loved, but because to me, the reason why I don't agree with that is because Rich is not a bad guy to Lisa Milan. At least not that from what we've seen. And mind you, they only been on the show 2 seasons. But from what I've seen of him, he don't give me as many red flags as Dennis does, or even Simon for that matter. So
That's a concern, my dear friend, in your discernment. Because Rich, I love Lisa Milan. I do think that she probably has the healthiest marriage on that show. However, something about her dude is off.
I said as many. You didn't hear me. I said as many red flags. I know something is off, but he doesn't give me as many as. So you think he gives as many red flags as Dennis does?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I don't pay attention to him like that. So maybe I need to go back and watch and repay attention because I really don't. I don't pay attention. I know something off about him, but I don't really go into that detail because they don't show it. So, and plus, he ain't been on the show long enough for me to really pay attention to him anyway. But I
Pay
just,
attention to the interactions that housewives have with their spouses, family members, all of that on the phone, them quick little in passings, and you'll peep it.
I will. Now I'm putting a note to myself now. Watch Real Housewives of Dubai again. Okay. Not as, not, no way, not as many red flags as he does. Not to me, but I'm gonna rewatch it. I trust my best friend's discernment. I do. So I'm going to rewatch it, and then she and I will come back. Would y'all like me to go live and discuss this? Because I can. We're actually doing a live on her channel where I might change the couple that I was going to do now. Now I might change the couple, Mrs. Best. Was that your couple?
No, I don't care.
Okay,
Change it to who you want.
I'm gonna change my couple now. I'm gonna rewatch them. But we're gonna move on, y'all. So next, because I have to go. I'm over here running my mouth. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is this messy ass game. And I'm only gonna focus on the one question that really mattered at the end of the night. Brit Edie reads out to Kenya. It was somewhere. I'm not gonna read it word for word. It was like somewhere like, Kenya, why do you throw like digs at Brit Edie or something like that, or why do you treat her with such cold shoulder? And she goes, I treat everybody well and everybody nice, and they go back and forth. And it was like, what did Kenya really do aside from shading the ring thing? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all because I think she was offended. I think Britt was offended by that because Kenya wasn't somebody who was easily moved by that big ass ring. She wasn't easily moved by it, and I think that that's what the real issue was. Because for her to say, "Oh, well, where's your other band?" It's common for people who have a wedding set to have a band and an engagement ring and to wear them together. So the fact that she was only wearing one ring, one would just assume that she was engaged. So if that was really an issue, like, that's ludicrous to me. If that was really the issue, I think the issue was just that she was probably one of few people that wasn't moved by it. She just wasn't, and neither was I. I wasn't moved by that ring either. To me, it looked fake and cheap. But that's just me. You know, but they go back and forth, and everyone's looking at Britt like, "Girl, you is doing the most. Like, calm down, calm down." Britt was loud, like, because at this point, Kenya said, "I don't argue with peasants and everything." And Britt's like, "Oh, now I'm a peasant. I'm gonna show you." So the ladies all get up, and Kenya pulls Portia to the side and was like, "Portia, I can't deal with her right now." So they walk off from the group. And they didn't walk outside of the establishment. I don't know where they went, but all the other ladies were walking out, and you had Brit still going off. I can't believe her. I can't believe this lady. Like, she don't know. She don't know. I'm gonna get my pistol, and I'm gonna get, I got my whips. Like, I can do this. Like, she don't know. Where my husband at? Where my husband? Security, go find my husband right now. And I'm looking at her like, are we really doing all this? And so Kenya and Portia are walking out, and Kenya looked at her again because she was just running her mouth. And so they all walk out. And so finally, Mike comes and tells her, "You doing way too much." And she goes, "No, I'm going to show you." And Kenya's at Portia's car because Kenya, I guess, got chauffeured, took an Uber. And so as Kenya's waiting for, the car service or whatever, um, Brit was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna show you like what this is about. You playing with the wrong one. You playing with the wrong one." And I'm looking at her like, if someone don't put her ass in the damn car and drive off, she was giving me a fucking headache. I was like, "Oh my god, shut up already." So Portia was like, "Well, Kenya, just get in the car with us, and we'll just drive you." And she goes, "Oh, okay." So Kenya gets in the car with Portia and Shamia, and they drive off. And as they're driving off, King was like, "Did y'all hear her say she was gonna pull out a gun now? Like, no, she's crazy. She got to go. She got to go." And then Portia, and then King's like, "Ooh, there go Charles Oakley," and she goes, "I ain't going nowhere near Charles Oakley." And they all start laughing, and I was laughing with them, but because the Charles Oakley thing, Portia was trying to keep it on the low about all these alleged babies he had and stuff. That's what she wanted to let out the bag, but Angela, well, you know how Angela is. Angela, like, she'll stomp on somebody, so that's why you can't really do all that. But Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that scene?
Brit, is you a hood rat or a Barbie bitch? I'm gonna need you to make a choice. Cause not only do you look like Nicki Minaj, but you acting like her too. Cause we know Nicki be tripping. I'm just saying. The other thing, it didn't make sense. Like whenever people get animated like that, and you just sitting there silent, because Kenya sure did ignore her. And the thing is, peasants are very loud. You don't hear swans hollering and shit, but you will hear them peasants cooing and making noise. So Brittany was acting like a peasant. It doesn't make sense for her to be so upset. I think that's the best point that you could have made, James. Like, if you're mad because she made a comment about your ring, who the fuck cares? The marriage should be you winning. Like that shouldn't even phase you. And as quiet as this cat, most of the couples that's real shallow and pay attention to the rings and notice them are the people who end up divorced. They say the
Mm-hmm.
bigger the wedding, the faster you get divorced. So
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the situation just from the perspective of Brit didn't have to do that much. If I'm turning up like that and talking about pistols and crazy stuff like that, then somebody had to have talked about my mama, my child. But it's like she called you a bird. She could have said or did so much work. And what annoyed me with the whole situation is Brit claimed that she did not write that question down. So it's like, who was the person who allowed her to do this at the event? So now I'm side eyeing Angela, but you don't have pistols, young woman. Be quiet. You do not have pistols. I don't think she's ever picked one up or played with one. So I was really annoyed with that. She declasses the show and she needs to go. And I think all of them saw that to where the rest of the cast is like, let's just get away from her. Because they knew what they was doing. They say if we leave this heifer alone here hollering and cursing, then she gonna look crazy. And she does look crazy. She looks crazy. So I don't understand it, but if this is the reason Kenya did what she did, then more power to you. You're not gonna threaten a pistol with me, bitch. I still got cousins in Detroit. That's what Kenya should have said. But it is what it is. So she got back at her how she did. But seeing this scene makes you realize that they shouldn't have just suspended Kenya.
I agree because I want justice for Kenya. After seeing this scene, I want justice for her because I feel like that's not fair. That's not fair in any instance of life because where is it where you can threaten someone talking about I got a pistol, I got whips, I got all this kind of stuff. You're not gonna play with me. I'm gonna get you. When is that okay? For why didn't HR, and this is where I'm gonna get in Bravo's ass. Because Bravo in that call center, so where was her reprimanding when she was saying all that, all on camera, all basically almost implying a threat to a lady? Where was the reprimand for her? Where was HR at where, you know, she was saying all that out of her mouth? Because y'all showed they reprimand Kenya for showing something that's probably public knowledge. So I just want to know. I mean, I do think that she should. I think Kenya should have been suspended for what she did, but so should Brit. Brit should have gotten equal treatment because that's just as damaging. That's just as yes, like that's just as damaging. Like they both should have been suspended. Absolutely, I think that is a, you know. I don't know how she was able to continue after this. This is where I'm calling Bravo out because Bravo, y'all like
Because this girl is a fake ass gangster and she understands. I think Brit think that because she was running with rappers and stuff that makes her hard. Baby girl, just because you've been around guns and stuff don't mean you actually know how to use it. Too, if you was really about the streets, Brit, and really as hood as you proclaim to be, then your dumbass wouldn't even be saying something like that while being filmed. And then separately from all of that, this young woman basically probably went and cried her little fake clear woman tears and probably got them to do something. But it's crazy because for her first season, you would think that Bravo would hold her equally accountable. I don't like what's happening with this. They don't seem to have much of a season. I see why the ratings are low, and they need to just do a whole recast.
agreed, agreed. Because this to me, like that was equally as dangerous. Like that shouldn't even have came out that lady's mouth. And the fact that Kenya did get back in a bad way. I'm not saying Kenya was right, y'all. I just don't think. I think Bravo really could have got a handle on this before it went that far. Like Bravo could have got a handle on this way before Kenya did what she did. But the factor of the matter is that Bravo did not step in and did not call these ladies, and HR did not contact them to have a meeting to make sure that this kind of behavior is unacceptable and that we need to find some resolution because you both are contracted. That is crazy to me, Bravo. That is crazy
Because
that
if being called a peasant makes you want to get a gun and do anything to anybody with it, then
yes.
you should not be allowed to film with the other people. My professional opinion as someone who works in mental health, I wouldn't clear her to film. But okay, Bravo.
Mhm. I would too. If I was Kenya, no, Bravo would can kiss all of my ass because there's no way if that young lady stays, I'm going. I probably wouldn't even come out to Bravo just because y'all playing with my safety for allowing this lady to say all of this and no reprimandation or reprimandation. And she wasn't reprimanded for her behavior or for her words, and they're clear as day. She said it clear as day. It wasn't like she mumbled it. It wasn't like she said it under her breath, and it wasn't like she implied something different. She said the exact words. So the fact that we didn't reprimand her for this, I'm sorry, Bravo. No, y'all lost me on this one. Y'all lost me. This is going to come into Bravo. I understand why they had to get rid of Kenya. I understand that too, but why they didn't get rid of Brit? That was equally as damaging. Why they didn't get rid of her? Yeah, and this is why they do. And this is what I be saying about Bravo, y'all. And this is why I'm telling you, sometimes being a black person on national TV, on reality TV world, sometimes it's not the best. I say this all the time about loving Hip Hop Atlanta and how MTV has taken that and made that show a complete circus. And it's like, I don't want, and I hate that me and Mrs. Best have to recap that show because a lot of y'all request for that show. But I'm just letting y'all know they don't treat us well in these spaces, and especially when Kenya has done a lot of work for the network as far as doing other shows, making sure that she shows up and takes the hat of the villain, even though she really isn't one in real life. Because
If
everyone,
Kenya was a white person, trust and believe, Britt would have been suspended and things would have never even escalated.
absolutely,
And that is the honest to God truth. Listen, Bill Cosby, I know he's a bad reference, but he was trying to tell people back in the day about NBC. There's been so many people going back generations before us. This has been a company that's just insensitive. They have some type of a racial bias that does not lean positively towards people of color. So it's to be expected. But they're definitely dealing with a lot of heat right now between this episode and the crap with Garcelle and that Watch What Happens Live. Bravo is whew. And yeah, it's a bitch they winner. You are correct. Everyone is aware and has continued to acknowledge that Kenya has been a bad egg. She is the perfect example of somebody that Bravo has rewarded for bad behavior. She's the
agreed.
perfect example of it. However, she's still an employee and they still have to do right by her. You have a woman on the cast threatening people and their safety just because she was called a peasant. You must really believe you a peasant to get that mad and that moved. Nobody argued back with this woman. She was just in the parking lot, hollering and in arguments with the sky and the street lamps and all types of stuff. So I just looked at that as like, Brit Edie is a little kooky. I wish she would have just stayed in videos because then she didn't have to talk. You know what I mean?
I wish she wouldn't have came on this show because she's unhinged, and I can't. And I already didn't like her the first episode, so I don't think I'm gonna like her going forward. She did not directly threaten her though. That's probably why she didn't get reprimanded. I feel
No, that's
like,
that's not the point
yeah,
though.
I feel like yeah,
Why does being called a peasant make you want to pistol whip somebody? That's strange. You're on a reality show. You knew to expect to be called these kinds of names. That's what they
to
do.
me, I feel like to me it's still semantics because although she never threatened Kenya, what was the point of implying pistols and whips
Right.
and throwing it in her general direction? Like to me, that was like subliminal. It's like, no, I'm not going to directly threaten you, but I do got a gun in this, duffel bag here, and if you want to talk, we could talk, and that's what that is, and that to me, it's not far from a threat. It's not. It's not like it's
You getting called far worse than a peasant online, Brit, since this episode has aired. Are you gonna pistol whip the rest of
everybody else.
everybody else? Like that's
They
dumb.
should
Why
have did
was
this
she
from the
so
beginning and scrapped
triggered?
the show altogether. They should have did this from the beginning and scrapped the show altogether. Bringing Portia back was an epic fail. Suspending Kenya was stupid because now that we didn't see what actually leads to what she did, to me, she's no different than Brit. They both should have been suspended. So I kind of feel like
Mhm.
this was a wash. This season was a wash. Makes you wonder if that husband on her tongue. No, I feel like her husband. What a bitch! Where your comment at? Where your comment at? Hold on.
What
Damn.
does he do? Why is he always on that
No,
phone?
a bitch they went and had a comment that I highlighted, and I think, and she know what I'm talking about. I'm finna find it because I have a lot of comments. Damn. But this thing when you commented it, and I said, and I thought it like literally I literally thought this comment the moment
Her
you said
husband
it.
looked like he liked boys.
There it is.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's Atlanta. I believe it. I believe it 100%. I believe it 100%.
It's different, but they are both suspendable offenses. But
We talking
revenge porn
about
is far worse, but they're both
we talking about something
suspendable.
that you have probably legal paperwork and a consent to do that we all can probably look up on the internet right now. Versus you're talking about imposing violence on someone's life by using subliminal antics. The two are equally as damaging. Because who's to say if Kenya said pull it out, who's to say she wouldn't?
They're both suspendable offenses. Is the thing. I think this has shown this little scene. Like we know what Kenya did, and what Kenya did was not good. But we now also know what Brit did, and we said this in the updates. Kenya don't just come for people. You got to have bothered her or done something because she always does way too much. And now we see what Brit did. They both should have been suspended. Now, if they suspended both of them and then let Brit come back to filming or something, and Kenya stayed on a longer suspension, fine. Because it's, revenge porn. But if she got that revenge porn or whatever off of a public website that people can use for their personal happy time, if she got that from a website where Brit may have posted it, then that's not revenge porn. That's something that you already made available to the public being brought to Samoa the public
Yeah.
is the thing. So it's still hard to know. Now, if Kenya got some like leaked moments or something, then it's like, okay,
No,
what the
here's the
you
thing.
don't do that.
Because someone was saying that I remember reading a blog somewhere that's saying that because she was a video vixen when she was a teenager.
Hmm.
So someone was putting out there that may be photos from that time.
Oh no.
So that's what, and then that's why I'm waiting. Now I'm saying allegedly, because that blog was taken down. But I'm saying
Mm.
allegedly, that's what the word on the curb was. And I'm hoping that's not the case. And maybe that's what led to why King was indefinitely suspended. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that there was a blog that was taken down that was saying that allegedly the pictures were from when she was a video vixen as a teenager. That's what the word.
Why did her mama let her do that?
Child, we don't.
Because the mom is still around as we see, and I'm just like, I did performing arts and things like that as a teen. My mom would never let me do nothing too
You know,
risque. So it's
you'd be surprised
interesting.
what a mama would do when you slip her $500 that she's stuffing in her bra.
Oh, that's terrible.
You know, we
That's-
all seen what's love got to do with it. So you would be surprised how some mamas will turn a blind eye for some money and give one of them daughters up and for a it's like I really want to know her backstory, but I don't care that much about her to really care. But I'm just
Hmm.
thinking, so I'm hoping that's not the case. I hope Kenya didn't dig up something that if it was something she did when she was underage. I hope that that's not what she did. But I don't know. But I know that there was a blog that said that. Like there was a blog that came out and they have removed that blog since because I was trying to find it again and I couldn't find it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
That's a concern.
And also, we do want to thank Portia for this. Portia might not have did much this season yet, but I did appreciate this. I did appreciate her telling King get in the car and we can just drive off because to me that was
I
making
think
sure.
she knows that they're I think Portia recognized that Brit is unhinged for real, for real. I don't think she had a weapon on her, but I do think that something's wrong with her. And if you yell and amping yourself up in the parking lot and your own husband can't calm you down, then let's get the hell away from this location.
Yeah, so I appreciated Portia for that because even though they're at odds right now, I do appreciate Portia for having King is back and making sure she was not left there. So yeah. Yeah, okay, so you heard that it too. Yeah, I know I read it. I was like, oh damn, Kenya, no. No, 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 no. Yeah. Her own husband was telling her yeah, he did. And I was like, see, if your own husband telling you, and she didn't even listen. She did. She did do right for once. For once. I was like, damn, there has to be some saving grace in her somewhere. But I really did appreciate that. I did. I was like, okay, Portia, because I was worried for King. King said she didn't have her car there. So I said, damn, I don't want her to wait for no car. I don't want Portia to leave her. So when Portia told her to get in the car, I said, okay, thank you, Portia. Because you don't know what Brit would have did. I don't think she had anyone because remember, they were in, yeah, I think so too, but I'm not gonna say it. I think so too. But anyways, y'all, that was pretty much the episode. It was crazy. So remember, Married to Medicine will be tomorrow since Bravo hasn't uploaded. I'm gonna check my DVR again to see if it got recorded or to see if it's on demand. I don't know what happened with Married to Medicine. I heard it was a good part two, so I can't wait
It
to put it on.
was. It
Okay, I
was.
can't wait to watch it tonight. So I will see you guys tomorrow on my channel. We'll also be on Mrs. Best channel for Love and Hip Hop Miami. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate you. If you are not subscribed to me, please subscribe to the channel. It is free. Y'all ain't got to worry about it. I just need the subscriber count so I can get monetized, y'all. I feel like I deserve it. I've been here. Next month will make it 2 years that me and Mrs. Best have been doing this. So come on, y'all. Get me monetized, Get it out there for me. Share the channel. Tell a friend. Tag somebody. I don't care how it happens as long as it does. And I'll see. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.